Yay! Yay! New Ultra Canada. Excuse me. Jeez.
We got a sail on. Need anything?
Oh. Anything you like. How about ya?
Let's get to it.
We
Let's
got
get
this.
to it.
Yep.
Oh, thank you for following. Zenulian? Zenulia2344. I appreciate it. Ah, Tashin! Hello, Nexid. How art thou? Sorry, got really focused. The new Arch-Tempered Archveld is difficult. Yes, I am. Let me just... There we go.
Hellos.
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, I still haven't done the Arch-Tempered Arc Vulcan by my Archveld by myself. I mostly just put on my tanky support build and then go help other people do it and hope that somebody skilled enough carries me through it. That's what I've been doing. Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you. I hear the stream.
Ah, interesting.
do
Oh,
hear
I think I
myself
know
on
what the
stream
issue
now.
is. I know what the issue is. I know what the issue is. 1 second. I need to change my Discord settings. I'm on push to talk. Sorry. I'm on
I
push to
see, I see.
talk. Yeah.
Ah, it's all good.
Because I have weekly Wednesday games for Mutants and Masterminds. So, I put myself on push to talk for those.
Oh, you're still part of that.
Yeah. They let me back in. I got my collective hash together. For the most part.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, man.
Yeah, it's I really do like it. Like, Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition is, it's really, oh, crap. It's really unbalanced, kind of like 5e is unbalanced, but that's more of just because it's the nature of the game. Its power system is really much based on,
Just for fun.
like, building your own powers. Like for superheroes and whatnot, and your powers could be you're a billionaire, your powers could be super high-tech gadgets, your powers could be literally flight and indestructibility, or necromancy or whatever, like any comic book superhero powers. So it because it covers such a wide power base, it's up to the GM to balance things out to make sure everything's kosher. And unlike a lot of other systems, it doesn't every single character, the NPCs and the characters, run off the same system. So it's not like 5e or Pathfinder 2nd edition where NPCs have different stats and way to calculate stats than players do. Everybody is built the same way. So you have to kind of account for that. And the system is kind of meant for, like, there are a couple of...
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, there's a couple of power effects, modifiers, and flaws that are built into the game. But the system highly encourages that the players work with the GM to make your own that make more sense for your characters. Kind of like, like there'll be a flaw where, you have to meet certain activation requirements in the narrative in order to do it to your certain powers. And because of that flaw, depending on how restrictive it is, the DM can make the power cheaper to buy or more powerful by comparison. Oh, I'm still on push to talk. I'm sorry. I really can't take my hands off the keyboard right now. Owie.
The stream is paused currently, so I can't actually hear you anymore. Like it's buffering. Oh, it's back to play. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, we're almost done. So we'll be through this soon. Ah! Heal. Oh wait, they cut the tail. Yay! Loot. Nom nom nom. Wait, I might be able to change my Discord settings. Shit. Can you hear me now?
Oh. Hey, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're good. It was my bad. Ah! Ah!
I'm downloading an update, so that's currently throttling my internet.
Yeah, I haven't
And
reset
three
my
windows of
computer in a
Minecraft I
while,
have.
so I think my connection isn't that great either. There we go. No, but I just was able to get some time to take myself off push to talk. So
I got you.
it's mostly been that. Heal, drink. God, I've got some sort of insane liver to be able to process this much fluid in such a short amount of time. I'm drinking like quarts on quarts of healing potion, dude.
Who says that you're drinking it or processing it? It just goes.
It just goes
Very
straight
good.
through me like I'm pissing while I'm walking. Shut up!
Yeah,
There is like an ability in this
taking
game.
the benefits.
I think it's called goodness, what's it called? Like Slick Blade or something like that, where your affinity increases while you're wet. So if you're in water or something like that, or got hit with a water attack, just like I'm always proccing Slick Blade because I'm just so wet from constantly having to pee out all of this healing potion. Yeah. High fiber, high protein diet. Because of all the shrooms.
You are destroying the body from all that.
It's just my digestive system is superhuman. Nom 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 nom. God, what's his name? He's like a world record hot dog eating contest champion. His name is like Joey something. Like all that happens is just like he dips hot dogs in glasses of water and then just pounds them like crazy, which is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. But it's incredible to see how many hot dogs he can drink. Drink the potion. Yeah, I haven't figured out how to dodge anything, but with the amount of defensive buffs and skills that I have, I could survive getting hit. Oh no! I didn't dodge! It's okay. I had insurance, so it didn't take away anybody's money.
Oh, that's good. Perfect.
Are you alright? Take a second to restock your supply.
Yeah, I just got stun locked and I got hit by 2 back-to-back big moves. But yeah. So yeah, no, I do like Mutants and Mastermind system. It's like unbalanced, but just because by nature it's very incentivized. Its power system is very much like modular, so that way you can literally build your own powers, and abilities, which is pretty nice because it's supposed to cover like such a wide branch of fiction. So it actually covers 5e. It actually covers like a lot of anime worlds pretty well because of the power system being allowed to build whatever you want effectively. And while it has like inbuilt effects and modifiers and flaws that you can, back together to create powers with, the system like actively encourages the players to work with the GM to create their own powers and activation conditions and stuff like that, which is pretty nice.
Sounds pretty cool. And honestly, I'm glad that you're able to enjoy yourself in a group like that.
Yeah, so it does lend itself very well to a an anime world just because of the ability to kind of create your own power systems and whatnot. And they're actually coming out with 4th edition soon, which apparently is supposed to be more like streamlined, slightly more balanced as well.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be easier to understand.
Be pretty sick. You guys gonna move to the new system once it's out, or still gonna continue with the current?
We're probably
Edition.
gonna move to 4th edition. We're
newest
currently using a couple of the playtest things, so which is pretty nice. And the thing is that the system kind of understands that it's unbalanced, so the new 4th edition that's coming out, it's gonna mark like several of the problematic powers with, hey, this is in the game because it makes sense for the world. However, talk to your GM about it. And GMs, be very careful about allowing this ability unrestricted because it could break things.
Okay.
Like one of
And it's a
them.
warning, so like if they do leave it unrestricted, then that's on them.
Yeah, like one of the ones is like I think it's summoning is really powerful, obviously, just because like, you know, you have people who can like, I can summon an army of remote controlled robots, I can necromancy up some people. My entire ability is that I'm a rich bastard who pays people to do things for me, so I have a bunch of minions. But you know, summoning has all of the issues.
The power of money.
Yeah, summoning has all the issues in this game that it has in other games, so even though it's still in the system, even though the developers know, hey, this is really powerful, so be careful about how you allow this, you know. Like, you know, so it just...
By the way, do you know anyone named Zainulia? Did they interact with you before, or...?
Yeah, no, that's just
I'm looking at-
that's just a bot.
Okay, I thought it was weird that they said it twice.
Yeah. Oh, I got the dual wielder bonus for constantly swapping between both of my weapons.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they released a new item called a battle worn ticket, which is just a ticket that's worth a lot of points for like any melding or any crafting. So when you go to like reroll stats on your Gogma or Artian weapons, you can use the battle worn tickets and they give you lots of points. Or when you go to meld decorations or talismans or more Artian parts, then you can use battle worn tickets and they'll give you a lot of them. It's unique.
Jeez, look at that
know,
horn. There's just like sprues just sticking out jaggedly. It's like just a bunch of crude iron mashed together. It looks like an orc weapon, dude.
Yeah, this is my punk rocker look. So I got one of the Doshagama horns as my as the skin for it. It's pretty good. I think my favorite is
Nice.
goodness, what is it? I think one of my favorites is if I can. Yes. I like this one. Just a little lederhosen boy with a jade bell on a stick. The
They have, like,
lederhosen.
butterfly hair, kinda.
Yeah. Papillon. It's oh goodness, I forget what it's
Oh
called.
my gosh, Busarenkin.
Yeah, Busarenkin is pretty good.
Yeah.
What was it? It's not Nersilia. It's one of the lower ranking armors. I actually really like its stats. It's called it might just be called the Butterfly. Yeah, Butterfly Alpha, which is pretty good. And then of course female type. you can. Yeah, been getting into fashion lately.
Well, I mean, once you've gotten most of the weapons, right?
Yeah, gotten all the weapons that I want. It's a very fortunate / unfortunate thing about hunting horn in this game is that there's like 3 different types of Gogma Artian hunting horns in this game. Each one of them has like a different song list. So the Gogma Artian weapons are like the best endgame weapons presently in the game for every weapon category in terms of stats. But for the hunting horn, it's unfortunate because like if you don't like any of the 3 song lists for your build, then you have to use like the standard horns. But I find that's
that's the thing about hunting horn. Is like its songs can't change. Unfortunately.
I do
So
find
sometimes you're just stuck with a lower tier horn just because it has better stuff.
Yeah, I do find though that if you're playing a support focused hunting horn, then doing the one where you dual wield them and your second hunting horn is the extended melody one is really, really, really good. Just that way you can easily maintain 2 hunting horns worth of songs easily on the entire party, the entire thing. And with that playstyle, you don't have to go through all of the agony of constantly having to grind Gogmazios and then re-rolling sets and group bonuses and stat bonuses on the Artian hunting horn over and over and over and over and over again. And the stats, honestly, aren't that much worse. It's like, I think it's like you're 75% as good stat-wise as a fully optimized, god-rolled Gogma Artian hunting horn. But you get to dual wield, which is the upside. So if you want to play like a blunt weapon that has really, really good stats, and you kick a bunch of ass, and then it still can buff yourself and all of your allies, the Gogma Artian weapons or hunting horns are really good for you. But if you just want to be like support main ultra, you don't have to worry about it. So that's kind of a blessing and a curse for hunting horn mains at the moment.
Yeah. It's very different, but I guess all weapons are different in their own regards. I think this is an interesting way to keep hunting horns unique in its own right.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that they will eventually allow the re-rolling of songs, maybe. Because they haven't released...
I feel like that would start to get a bit broken. You just pick the best songs and best horn. Maybe it's like a pool of songs that a horn can have.
Yeah, just hope that you roll the right ones that you want. But I mean, even if you get... Like, there's still a limit to how many you can have. But, like, even then, like, there's still, like, it's one of those things where, like, I think hunting horns deserve it just because they're very team-focused build.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of team-dependent. Like, if your teammates suck, then there's no amount of buffs that are going to help that.
Yeah,
and if you removed the echo bubbles and all of the songs and whatnot, then hunting horn is basically a hammer that does less, that can't charge its attacks, does less damage and can't charge its attacks. So I think that, you know, the ability to pick the aspects of your unique weapon would make sense. But yeah, no, I'm actually using 2 non-Gogma weapons right now, hunting horns now. One of them is one that you were using, which is the Crazed Melody. Which is because it has what's it called? It has divine protection and all ailments negated as 2 of its songs.
Yeah.
Its third one is status attack up, which, I mean, if you have somebody who is using a status weapon in the party, it's good. But status weapons, unfortunately, since Title Update 4, which it happened in December, Status weapons, status ailments in general really suck on 9-star and now 10-star monsters. Unfortunately,
Oh, I see.
they're still pretty good on 8 stars, and I would say they're still very much worth it on 7-star quests and below. But hey, if you have somebody that has a status build or multiple people that have a status build in your party, then the status attack up melody does something. Especially since Crazed Melody itself is a status weapon. But mostly Divine Protection and all ailments negated is what you use Crazed Melody for. And then I switched to Resounding Galahad, which has attack up large, knockback negated, and extend all melodies and restore sharpness. Effectively, with Extend All Melodies and Restore Sharpness, you can string to extend all melodies together and then put a Restore Sharpness on the end of it. And if you're able to play through the entire song, then you're able to play Extend All Melodies twice, and then play them again with an encore, and then play Restore Sharpness, and then play it again with an encore, which effectively increases the duration of all of your melodies by 80 seconds. Yeah. And then restores sharpness of all your allies' weapons so they don't have to stop and keep sharpening their weapons over and over again.
Yeah. Which, I mean, usually do between, but it keeps it topped off, so it's always doing a lot of damage, because sometimes, some weapons just have a tiny sliver of white.
Yeah, some weapons have a tiny sliver of white. Some weapons, like dual blades or greatsword or stuff like that, or longsword, just shred through their sharpness. And the strongest attack buff in the game, funny enough, is white sharpness. I think I found it that yellow sharpness is no raw damage buff. Green sharpness is 5% increased raw damage. Blue sharpness is 20% increased raw damage. And white sharpness is 32% increased raw damage.
Okay.
So constantly keeping everybody, and it hits everybody, including yourself, so you yourself never need to sharpen. Constantly keeping everybody...
That would be messed up if Hunting Horn doesn't affect the caster.
Yeah, that would be shitty. Like, I understand why the self-improvement melody only affects yourself, which it's a pretty it's a pretty good buff. I believe it's a 20% movement speed buff and also like a 10% raw damage increase or something like that. That stacks with things like raw attack up large and stuff. Yeah, it effectively makes it so that you increase everybody's DPS because you increase the amount of time that they are in their top sharpness level, and also you increase the entire group's DPS because you reduce the amount of time that people need to stop and sharpen.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, Resounding Galahad does not have the offset melody, but it does have Resounding Melody, which is quote-unquote the damage melody. So you can... So oftentimes I switch between the Extend All Melodies, Restore Sharpness string, and then just the Resounding Melody for damage, and just do them back to, one after the other in order, just so that I am doing some damage. Then you just have Slugger 3 and Drain Stamina Thief 3 on Resounding Galahad. That way you can stun the monster and exhaust the monster every so often. I found out if you're able to exhaust the monster stays inside traps longer. So I always keep a shock trap and a pit trap with me. So that way they, if you're ever able to exhaust the monster, then you basically just shock trap them, and that way, they stay in it's basically like turning exhaustion into a stun that just lasts longer. Is nice.
Well, I mean, if it's already able to fall into a trap, wouldn't that be enough to just, capture it? Or would you rather just kill and carve?
So that's just the thing, is that you can use
killing?
traps on monsters, and it will disable the monsters, even if the monsters aren't low enough health to capture. So I find that a lot of people, especially like sword and shield users,
Yeah.
swap. They keep both a shock trap and a pitfall trap in their inventory, plus trap tools and the resources to craft shock traps and pitfall traps in their inventory, just because it's like taking a couple seconds to spawn a spot on the map that paralyzes the monster so everybody can wail on it for a few seconds. Without actually having to have a status weapon, even if the monster isn't capturable. So it's actually pretty useful to do, even if you just plan on slaying it, because it's like holding the monster down so everybody could kick the crap out of it.
I see.
And on flying monsters, I often use flash pods. I keep flash pods with me on my full support build regardless, but especially on flying monsters, if you flash a monster while they're flying, like a Rathalos or a Rathian while they're flying, they'll fall out of the sky and it'll stun them for a little bit. So instead of them just being blinded and having trouble targeting anybody, they'll squirm on the ground for a while, which is another way to get like a good stun in. Again, it's one of those things where not only are you buffing everybody, you're like holding the monster down so everybody can then take those buffs and use them to uninterruptedly, one-sidedly kick the ass of the monster, which is really nice.
I see.
And of course, using like wide range speed eating and free meal and mushroom mancer to just chug a bunch of potions and eat a bunch of mushrooms to give everybody buffs.
All right.
So I've mostly just been doing that and hunting with randos and hoping I get randos that are skilled enough to carry me through, because otherwise I have to do the 10-star quests with like NPCs, because NPCs, when they faint, they don't take away carts like your faint things, because
I see.
by myself, without this support build, without this super tanky support build, and then I find that I just cart so many times, and randos will cart so many times that more often than not you'll just fail the mission. But doing it with NPCs, while you will seldom fail the mission, it'll usually take a long time. So because I'm impatient, I just use my support build and play with randos and hope that the randos are at least half skilled.
Makes sense.
And then just try not to faint. But yeah. Released the last of the monsters that they're gonna have in the game before they make Master Quest stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, I found out Master Rank used to just be an entirely new game that they released when this game was when Monster Hunter was console exclusive. So like you would have like in PlayStation era before they would release Monster Hunter games on PC, you would have like Monster Hunter 4 and then Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, back before they could just give out DLC. And you were able to like transfer your save file from 4 to 4 Ultimate, which is nice. But yeah, ever since World, I believe it was, then they started releasing Master Rank stuff as like an entirely separate game's worth of DLC for the same game. So like Iceborne for World or Sunbreak for Rise. I have no idea what it's going to be for Wilds. But yeah, this has been a good game to like passively grind. It's been interesting enough to help me get out of bed and whatnot.
I'm glad that you have something to like grind. It's really fun when you have something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see me with Minecraft just constantly going there for months on end.
Yeah, or like I haven't
my
really had a
time there.
game like that, or like I'll have a game where like so long as I have a goal in it, I'll be able to keep playing with it.
Mhm.
But once I like fill out all the goals, then
Yeah.
With Monster Hunter, however, they've kind of cleverly made the endgame system so that as far as like fashion hunting or hyper optimizing goes, like it doesn't take that long to get, you know, the end game builds that you're satisfied with, but it takes a long time to get like everything quote unquote perfect. Or get all of the fashion things that you want or event items and stuff like that. Those take a while. So it's like, oh yeah, I can grind to get a build that I want, you know, in a couple hours from scratch. But if I really want if I really want to have like something that is 99 to 100% optimized rather than just like 90 to 95% optimized, then I'll have to spend the extra time to do it. And you know, your reward is that mathematically speaking your build is slightly mechanically better. Or your reward is that you have more fashionable sets that you can switch between, or event-based armor things and stuff like. So there are still things to grind. Which in like Space Marine 2, which did just come out with its new update, so I probably should go look at that.
Funny enough, that's actually what I'm downloading.
Yeah, I downloaded it earlier today. Space Marine 2 is just one of those things where like, other than the weekly quests, nothing really to grind after you max out everything.
I saw another one of my friends from another D&D group start playing it, so I was like, you know what? It's been a while. Maybe if you're starting that, maybe I can join you and we can play some stuff.
Yeah,
Speaking of, it just finished.
I want to get back into it and start knocking the rust off. I just have to finish my dailies real quick, and then if you want to play some of that tonight, that I'm down. But if you want to play some of it later, I'm gonna end up eventually.
Probably just gonna practice some movement in the training area. I don't know if I'll do a mission yet because I have to just literally shake the rust off. Like, okay, how do I? Oh, right. This is how I specifically laid out my heavy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, let's do like a couple of the daily accolades, like the normal accolades, like that are below ruthless level in difficulty, to just like shake off the rust and remember how to use all the controls, and then after that, then okay, yeah, let's do this. But yeah, no, I completely get that. God damn it, I just looked at what the daily mission was and I forgot it immediately. I think that's a Kranadoth, which is one of the small monsters. Yeah, Kranadoth, which is one of the small monsters. They made it so that you can use the melting pot to craft mutated armaments now, which is the stuff that used to only fall off of the Gogmazios. So, in order to craft the endgame weapons with, or to reroll the abilities on your endgame weapons. So that's nice. And again, you can use like the battle-worn tickets from 10-star quests to craft relics, which the mutated armaments is one of the relics. So you no longer have to just, if you don't want to, like, it's still pretty efficient to grind Gogmazios for mutated armaments, but you can still get the resources to get mutated armaments from doing other high rank quests now, which is nice. Because after a while, Gogmazios, interesting fight, but after a while you just like, damn it, I need more mutated armaments.
It's becoming a Magnum.
Yeah, gotta go and do it again. Now there are like 5 different quests that you can quote unquote grind to get Gogmazios mutated armaments. Which is nice. But yeah, interested to see how the Tech Marine works. I hear it's got like a I think a unique Melta weapon for it and a unique axe-based
They-
weapon for it.
I think they did some changes with this recent patch so
Yeah.
that it's properly working.
Yeah, I think Tech Marine is officially outside the beta now. And I think, you know, they got their new heroic weapons, which the last set of heroic weapons I did like quite a bit, because they changed the Thunder Hammer to not only be really good for the playstyle of Paladin that I liked, or what was it called? It's not a Paladin. I don't know. I forget. I have to look. Vanguard. I don't know. But it's also good for the assaults as well, because using a jetpack jump thing also, full charge jetpack jump slam also creates the little electric field from the hammer, which is nice. That, and it's a fencing weapon, which I really like for doing high rank missions with assault, because if you don't have like every single defensive ability known to man when you're going into the highest rank missions as assault, then you're just so insanely squishy that you die immediately.
I see.
At least for me, I'm not good enough to like you can just get peppered down super easy. But also the fist. A lot of people didn't like the new power fist, but that's because everybody's build with the power fist relied on using the heavy
Wait,
attacks.
there's a new one?
Not in this most recent update, but the update before it, there was a power fist that you could only buy with a heroic power fist called the Death's Grasp, something like that.
Oh.
People didn't like it. I liked it, but that's because the meta with the power fist was charge attacks and all of the heavy attacks and whatnot, and the Death's Grasp highly incentivized you doing light attacks and fast attacks and jumping attacks and stuff like that. Which paired really nicely with, do you know the assault had two ways that it could spend its ability? One was the jump into the air into the powerful charge slam, and the other was a useless dodge that no assault in their right mind would ever use. Because you had to spend...
Talked about that.
Yeah, so now with that dodge, not only can it be used as a dodge, but it also can be used as a charge, like a dash attack. It counts as like a dash attack, like if you're sprinting, but it also does more damage. The Death's Grasp pairs really well with that assault ability, because the Death's Grasp's stats stack with that that attack. So not only can you have like a really fast, long-reaching attack that dodge, but it also does damage that stacks really well with the new fast-moving playstyle that the heroic Power Fist has.
I see.
But yeah, it's debatable whether it's quote-unquote better than the meta Power Fist build that relies on, using a whole bunch of charge attacks and stuff like that. So I like that it's not a straight upgrade, it's more of a side grade that is a unique play style to the standard Power Fist meta. But initially a lot of people just really didn't like it. The previous update's heavy bolt pistol was pretty disappointing. Compared to the current heroic heavy pistol meta, it had like the same firepower, but it had a much smaller ammo pool, magazine size, and much worse accuracy.
Uh-huh.
But what it effectively did was, like, if you shot somebody in the head, or if you gun strike somebody in the head that was doing a call, then they instantly died, and then nobody could do a call or something like that. So heavy bolt pistol already did the most single target gun strike damage in the game, so it ties the current heavy bolt pistol in terms of firepower for gun strikes, but it's basically only useful if you use it for gun strikes or specifically aimed headshots on monsters that are calling for reinforcements, which means
I see.
it really sucks for like assault or what was it, paladin, people that don't have a primary ranged weapon, people that only have the heavy bolt pistol. It's really bad for. But it's quote unquote just as effective at doing what the heavy bolt pistol was already best at, which was single target gun strike damage. But like, if you want to do like ranged AoE gun strike damage, the plasma pistol was best. And if you wanted to do like close range AoE gun strike damage, it's the Melta Inferno pistol or Melta pistol, forget what it's called. And then I think the secondary that has the most non-gun strike DPS, I think, is the heroic bolt pistol, or even just the regular bolt pistol. So each one of the secondaries I find has its own niche. And then you have the, what's it called? The laser pointer. Forget what it's called.
The Neo-Vokite.
Yeah, the Neo-Vokite pistol. That one sucks at dealing with Minoris enemies, but it really is good at, if you're good at tracking, it does more damage the longer you're able to hold the laser pointer on an enemy. So, the Neo-Vokite pistol's specialty is, weak versus massive amounts of enemies, but good against pinpoint targeting one strong enemy.
Yeah.
So I do like that all of the secondaries have like their own niche. Yeah. So heavy bolt pistol, single target gun strikes, DPS, regular bolt pistol, AoE gun strikes, or just AoE in general, plasma. If you want more damage but are willing to sacrifice range for the same purpose, then the Inferno pistol does the same job as the plasma pistol, but it fires faster, but it has significantly less range. And then, Neo-Vokite pistol sucks against small enemies, better against higher health large enemies. So yeah, I think the way they balance that is excellent. I will say, like, between...
I'm surprised you still, remember all of this.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is that I maxed out every single class and every single weapon. I read a bunch of guides. I know how to use every single class and weapon moderately okay. Moderately.
Other than the new tech.
Other than the new tech breeze. But you know what I'm going to be doing? The moment I get back into the game...
Back to assault.
Back to us. Yeah.
We've sure have come a long way from freaking Blind Fire and Crater.
Blind Fire Crater. Crater, I love thee. It took me playing every single class and I found the U for almost every single other class where it's I like this playstyle, so I'm only going to play this class. And even though I've maxed out all of the skills and all of the classes, I could play that class next to a person like that and be like, there's such a higher skill ceiling that I have not reached with that class yet. I could play heavy and then you could play heavy. And just the way that we play heavy is so different from each other, and your skill level with heavy is so significantly above mine, notably above mine, that it's, ooh. Maybe the only person I could probably, I'm maybe in the top 70th percentile in tactical / assault, just because nobody really plays assault.
I was gonna say top 70th is pretty good, honestly. In the top hundreds,
70
is something to go back.
70th percentile is out of 100 players, I'm better than 70 of them, is what that means. It's not out of 100 players, I'm
Oh.
better than 30. It's not I'm in the top 70%, I'm in the 70th percentile, which is out of a room, if you take a room of 100 assault players, I'm confident of being better than 70 of them.
Freaking even better.
When I was actually actively playing the game. Now I'm like probably way worse. Most likely. But yeah. Yeah, just after I max out all the, it's like after I max out every single class, it's like what people say about getting your black belt in martial arts for the first time. Like, if you get your first degree black belt, all that you realize is that you can do everything okay, but there are people like 3rd degree, 5th degree, or 9th degree black belts out there that have been like honing the process for thousands upon thousands of more hours than you have, that make you look like a white belt again. Like, after I prestiged for all of the classes and maxed out all of the weapons, I just felt like a white belt again compared to people who actually specialize. But I know a lot about the game. And party composition.
Of course. Come back any. Yeah.
Automatically, I can't remember what the heroic heavy bolter did. It wasn't good, from what I remember. Let's see, where's my accolades?
Yeah, the primary heavy bolter, not the heavy bolt pistol. I remember it not being great either.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the
Let's
heavy
see.
bolter, not the heavy bolt rifle. It gave you a larger parry window.
After a gun strike, it's completely cooled.
After a gun strike, it's completely cooled, but it's way less accurate, I think, than the regular heavy bolter. It, like, from what I remember, is that it incentivizes parrying and gun striking over DACA, which is not what you play heavy bolter for. When you play heavy bolter, usually you want more DACA.
It also reduces your rate of fire.
Yes. Which
More firepower, though.
wasn't a big fan of. The thing is that it is a new... I do like the heroics. Most of the heroics, for the most part, try
Side
to...
grades, they're supposed to be.
They're supposed to be side grades that offer you a significantly different playstyle from the meta of that weapon, which I like. I don't like heavy bolter because I don't think it's different enough. I think instead
it
of
might be just defensive, right?
Yeah, I think instead of a larger parry window, I think what they should have done is made it so that its parry works like a finesse weapon's parry, where how balanced weapons work in this game. I don't remember what the invulnerability frames are, but there was like a 10
My God.
frame wind up.
I'm gonna have to
Before-
remember all my parry windows.
Yes, there is a 10 frame wind up to all balanced weapons and for heavy all of their weapons that before the parry is actually active. And what the duelist prestige ability does is that it increases the invulnerability window. But what fencing weapons do is that it gets rid of that 10 frame startup. So the
Lag.
moment you press the parry window is when the parry is open. So even though you have even if you have duelist for assault or heavy, which increases the invulnerability period for your parry, it doesn't get rid of the startup.
The 10 frame startup, yeah.
The 10 frame startup, which isn't a problem for assault because assault can equip a fencing weapon. It's a problem for heavy because heavy can't equip melee weapons, so no finesse weapons. I think heavy bolter, instead of just increasing the invulnerability period overall, I think it should just give you a fencing parry, so 0 frame startup.
I'm curious, like, do the heavy bolter heroic add duelists to increase your parry window and other stuff? Are you able to, like, parry multiple things? Like if you're getting assaulted by a ton of stuff, I guess.
So you are invulnerable while parrying something, which means that if there are multiple parryable attacks that are coming at you at the same time and you parry one of them, you parry that one and you're invulnerable to damage from all the other ones that would hit you, but you don't also parry them so that they're gun strikeable, if that makes sense. So it effectively makes it so that if you have duelist and if you're using a fencing weapon from like assault, you can almost with no invulnerability period. There's like there's a frame window after a parry, even on a fencing weapon, where you can't parry again until it's over. So you can't just spam the parry button and be invincible, of course. But you basically, if you're using a fencing weapon with duelist for assault, you can... I've done it before where you can one after the other continuously and easily, reliably keep parrying one after the other with it. It becomes more difficult with a balanced weapon or heavy because there's not only that, I don't know what the frame is, cooldown on a parry, but also there's that 10 frame startup so that there's a larger radius from like, oh shit, if you're in that range where you can't parry again yet, and you don't have enough time to get through that parry window, you just have to dodge if you're a heavy or if you're using a balanced weapon. So
like the parry window, it's just I have to see it coming and know when to preemptively do it.
Yeah.
You can't really do it just on reaction of like, oh shoot, push. I actually have to plan out certain parries.
Yeah.
Because of that 10 start.
My biggest thing...
It wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
I'm used to balance, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. My biggest problem with the Heroic Heavy Bolter is just... It is a side grade. It's not necessarily better or worse, but its playstyle isn't significantly different enough from standard meta Heavy Bolter playstyle to make me feel like it's different enough to make me feel interested in engaging in it as a playstyle. Like, Heavy Plasma Incinerator is. Like, regular Plasma Incinerator is, you want to do charge shots all the time. You want to do full charge shots all the time. With Heroic Heavy Plasma Incinerator, it's, you want to full auto. It is full auto all the time. Full auto Heavy Plasma Incinerator. And that's different enough. Heroic Heavy Bolter is like a watered down version of regular Bolter for those who for the heavies that either A, don't have duelist, or B, have duelist and want a little bit of extra insurance if they really don't time their really don't time their parries that well. I don't know. I don't know if they've changed it, but yeah, I think they should just give Heavy Bolter a fucking fencing parry. So that way it stacks really well with Duelist. I think that would feel good. It would feel good to just be like, boom!
It'd be very interesting. It'd be very different. And which would be important for, well, it's the Heroic.
Mm-hmm. And it would make sense that it's a special.
A lot of heavy mains, though, because of that.
Yeah,
but I think they would also enjoy it a little bit.
It would throw off a lot of heavy mains, but also I think a lot of people who like to play heavy but don't exclusively play heavy, I think it would be more inviting to them. Just because there are a lot of people that just don't play heavy because they hate balanced parry. Or they hate balanced parry because they either want block or they want fencing. Because there are people that are in both camps. Like, block has its own merits because you can block and then release a super powerful blow, and then they like fencing instead of balanced because they like the instant poof, I parried, kind of thing without the delay.
Yeah.
And heavy, no matter what weapon you pick, only has their quote-unquote least favorite parry type.
Yeah.
But, it still has the strongest ranged weapons in the game. So, that's the trade-off. Like, I'm not saying heavy is weak by any means, but for people who
Oh yeah.
really, really like either the blocking style of parry or the fencing style of parry, I imagine would get a kick out of. Half of them would be okay with having a weapon that gives them one of the things that they're looking for. So that way they could still play a playstyle, parrying playstyle that they're comfortable with while also getting access to a slightly watered down version of the most powerful automatic weapon in the game. You know. Oh shit, Solar Dragon's there.
Yeah, I was meaning to say something.
Sorry, Solar Dragon. Yeah, new playtest stuff came out for Pathfinder recently. There's like a new risk reward system that they're trying to implement into Pathfinder 2nd edition, or just like the more risks that you take for a quest, the stronger rewards you get, or the more risks that you take for a power, the stronger you can make it, which I do like the idea of, but I really wasn't going to mess with it until they decided to officially release it. They also are releasing some new dedications, like the Daredevil dedication. Also, they brought back one of their scrapped classes and trying to balance it again. And it was one of the classes that I really wanted to play. It's a Necromancer class. Because you know how the summoner is like having one extra entity that you control that's like really strong? It's kind of like the opposite Minion Mancer playstyle to that, where you specialize in having a bunch of like 1 HP minions.
I prefer the big summon, one big summon.
Yeah.
That's why I like have the you know, the big what do you call it? Remember when we did Salazar, the Puppet Mancer?
Yes. Completely understand that. I completely understand that. My thing is just like, if I'm going to be a summoner, I would like to be able to at least summon 2 things in addition to my main character, because if I only have one summon, then what I'm doing is effectively I'm sacrificing my character's ability to do something to get an additional character that does it instead. And in which case, why don't I just make a character that does that thing instead, you know? Like, I'm okay with creating multiple guys that do it worse, because the upside is that now I have multiple entities that can cover a wider radius, you know, kind of thing. So I like the idea, but you really have to optimize like action economy, because even though all of them are like, if they take a single point of damage, they die. I appreciate that. And I think that's the appropriate way to do it, is like, they're hyper replaceable, but you can have a lot of them, but they're super fragile. So you can never really build a critical mass. So that's what balances it out power wise. You have to have something in game that's like, makes it so that the attacks are like, they all roll the attacks at the same time. Or they did release a spell recently that is basically just summoning a swarm of kobolds. That's what the spell does. And the higher rank spell is the more kobolds that you summon, but they all share like a health point pool. You don't roll saves for any of them, and you don't roll attacks for any of them. They just straight out do flat damage to a single target that they all combine to do, and they all have like a flat modifier for saves and stuff like that. So basically, it significantly reduces. You don't need to roll initiative for all of them. You don't need to roll saves for each of them. You don't need to keep track of individual hit points, and you don't need to roll attacks for any of them, but you can technically have a couple dozen entities if you cast the spell at a high enough level. That is the kind of, you know, Minion Mancer thing that I think works out the best, you know. Hyper weak against AoE enemies, stronger theoretically than casting Fireball at the same level damage-wise, you know. Like, if it's allowed to exist and use its attack 3 turns in a row as a 3rd level spell, it does more damage than Fireball would do to a single target. But if you're fighting an enemy that can, like, attack an area, then it could very easily gank your entire goon squad of weak lizard guys, you know?
Yeah.
So, has a weakness, has a situation in which it's stronger than the standard, has a situation in which it has a weakness and they could get ganked, and also is not obstructive and requires you to fucking roll a dozen initiative checks and saves and attacks and stuff like that, and keep track of a bunch of individual HP bars. So, it's why my summoning character is effectively just, you have the you play the summoner class, you play the Beastmaster dedication, and then you eventually play the Resurrector dedication and use, summoning spells. And with all three of those abilities, you can use your highest level spell slot, of which you have very few of them, to summon and command a monster. You use an action to command a monster from Beastmaster or Undead Master, and then you use your last action to command your summon that shares your same HP pool as you. So that way you technically can have 3 different summoned entities from 3 different sources, all of which require resources and opportunity cost to maintain, and none of them require separate initiatives, although they all do still require separate attack rolls and stuff.
What about the stuff that I was going for, like my family?
Stuff...
Because eventually the goal would be to summon them permanently, right? And then
Yes.
they would be their own independent thing?
So you swap out the Summoner class from my build with the Cleric class using the Harm font. What that does for you is, it makes you a full caster rather than a slot like a top caster like a Summoner is, because Summoner only gets like a maximum of like 6 spell slots, and it's the top 2 levels of spell slots, whereas War Priest Cleric is, you have martial weapon proficiency, heavy armor proficiency, shield, block, all that stuff like a martial does, but also you'll eventually get master casting in all those spell slots, and then you have the separate harm slots that can heal your own guys, and you can use it to do damage and heal yourself and stuff like that. So you can support your guys more. You are using the Reanimator class like the build I recommended, which basically makes it so that the monsters that you summon using your spell slots, those guys get like a +1 stat buff to all of their attack damage rolls, saves, ACs, stuff like that. So they're just stronger. Right. And then you replace the ability to have the summoner class with eventually rituals, which means that instead of having like a class spending, your class features and features like that to, and class features and the opportunity cost of having your dedication slots and stuff like that go to, have an additional extra singular strong minion, you instead use your downtime and your money to permanently summon your household members. This comes with the restriction that you have to be strong enough to summon them permanently, or else they have free will of their own. If they don't have free will of their own, then you can only control a maximum of 4 of them. You still need to take your own actions to do it. So you're incentivized for them to have free will of their own, and even then they have a level limit, rather. It comes with the risk of, if they die, all that money that you spent to summon them and downtime you spent to summon them is wasted. So it doesn't encourage it. They're not spammable, and stuff like that. Right. And there comes a certain point where certain members of your retinue, because they have free will and because they have certain level limits, even if you summon the strongest version of them, they're not really going to be all that. There's certain ones that will be, but not all of them were going to be like combat powerhouses, kind of thing. So It comes with its own opportunity cost. It comes with its own risks. It comes with its own restrictions. It disincentivizes spammability. If you summon the stronger versions of them that have free will, the free will ones do what I think they would do, as the DM and you do not directly control them as a player. So then you're kind of, trusting me that they're not going to do something shady behind your back, especially the vampiric ones that have like the compulsion weakness. Because ones that do have compulsion are, except in very limited circumstances where you can enforce your will over them for a limited period of time, they must do that compulsion. And more often than not, that compulsion will be debilitating in some way, like Dolly's. She must be within 30 feet of you at all times. Compulsion or something like that. That is debilitating
I forget
because
about that, but I love that so much.
yeah, like unless you're currently using your like once a day repress her compulsion for 1 hour ability. I think we had it start off as 1 minute and eventually your command grows to a point where it becomes like an hour or more than once a day usable or something like that. Then she will drop whatever she's doing to, even if it's harmful to herself, to make sure she is within 30 feet of you, even if it goes against a command like guard this area, stay here, go deliver this, etc. So that is a debilitating enough condition of compulsion, which this compulsion is just a variant of the, the compulsion that Bram Stoker's Dracula had of those vampires. Like if you throw grain, sand, or wheat in front of them, they have to stop and count every single, grain or something like that. It's effectively, the compulsion can be unique for each vampire, and the higher level of vampiric undead that they are, the less of the standard vampiric weaknesses they have. Like, so for example, one that a lot of pirate faring undead have, the first time they become a higher level vampiric thrall, is the ability to cross running water. They usually get rid of that weakness, for example.
I see.
Sometimes they suppress their compulsion permanently. Sometimes they get rid of their fatal weakness to sunlight, or they reduce their fatal weakness to sunlight to just an inconvenience to sunlight, stuff like that. So there's levels of vampirism where the lowest level of vampirism, they will have all of the weaknesses, but that's because vampires are like the strongest form of undead.
Gotcha.
So they have stats that supersede their level, so they need weaknesses to balance it out, kind of thing. Stats and abilities.
I do like that, like having obvious weaknesses that can be exploited to sort of balance.
Yeah. And the reason...
makes fights more than just a punch.
Yeah. And then the reason, higher level vampires are so scary is because you have no idea which one of the standard vampiric weaknesses they have decided to remove. So, good luck figuring it out, because usually a vampire is immortal unless you specifically exploit one of their vampiric weaknesses, Like, I chopped off his bloody head. Well, that's step 1. What about 9 through 10? Shite. So even if you kill a higher rank vampire, they can kind of just come back unless you killed them a very specific way. Which is why higher level vampires like you were, or like any of the kings of the suits would be considered, are very scary, is because, if you beat them in combat, kill their entire household, and eviscerate them, cool beans, chances are within a month's time they and their household will be alive again. And now you have to look behind you every step of the way, hoping you're not going to get jumped by them or their extended non-vampiric allies.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things that makes vampires in this world so scary, is the closely guarded secrets behind how to actually permanently get rid of them. Like hell, your character was probably killed the right way, quote unquote, and they still came back.
Yeah.
Presently steps 1 through 9 have been completed to permanently get rid of your character. It's just luckily
1 through 9.
nobody has done step 10 yet, which is the very easy kill me in this state.
Yeah, just kill me now.
Yeah, like the last and final step is just kill me how you would kill any normal mortal, because steps 1 through 9 have already been done. And now you're trying to
goodness me.
rapidly undo steps 1 through 9, so you have some barrier to your immortality restored, if that is your goal. Oh yeah, an Ichiran order form.
To an extent, I don't know. Does my character even know how to reverse step
It's
after 1?
yeah. I remember that we had it so that your character was more focused on the vulnerability of their thrall rather than themselves.
Friend. Yeah.
But the thing is that, their journey to increase that person's safety, to be able to fully resurrect them, to defeat people who would be out to kill you after they discovered that you are in fact alive, might require you to restore some parts of your vampiric,
Oh my gosh.
heritage.
I just realized that I'm kind of like, I like that kind of analogy trope of like, you find this OP person, like, but they have to go back to reclaim their own powers to help you out. Have you seen some manga or anime like that?
Yeah. I read lots of manhwa that are like that, where it's just like, I can reincarnate or resurrect or something like that. And I once was super, super duper strong, but now all my abilities are locked, or I lost all of them, or I have to go back in time and do them. Yeah, I really do like those, which is kind of why I really liked your character concept. So your character isn't necessarily interested in that life anymore, but circumstances happen to those that they care about to the point where
And now
they might need to reclaim some of that power so that they can complete their goals.
Yeah.
Just so that they have the ability to do that stuff. Like, I think we kind of made your character a lot like, Noblesse Oblige, like Frankenstein mixed with, what was his name, Rin? Goodness. The main character. I can't remember his name.
Do you remember? Wait, main character of who?
Noblesse
Because
Oblige.
I know Noblesse Oblige.
The main character, every time he used his powers, he was like the most overpowered thing in the world, but he killed himself doing it.
Yeah. He had a life orb equipped.
He had a life orb. 30% extra power. Lose 10% of your HP every time you do it.
Worth it. I
Worth.
can only attack 10 times. How many times did he actually use his power in the thing?
I don't know, he beat a lot of guys. I need to...
Do you know, the manhwa Ember Knight or something?
I don't remember names really well. Let me look it up.
Guy that has to pretend he's his brother. He is actually super weak, unlike his brother, so has to use knowledge and is quick thinking and
Yes!
analysis ability.
I've read this one. Not all of it all the way through, but yes.
The same people that made this made a different one, where there is a girl who is dying of this curse, who meets an immortal man. Who's in order to be able to save the girl, he has to go back and unlock certain memories to be able to save her. But it's in the same universe because that world is in the future, because you see a different character in Ember Knight in it. I'm pretty sure it should be in the future.
I do like that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm a fan
Yeah,
of
it should be
like
in the future.
I'm a fan of like being able to tell different stories from different perspectives in the same universe, but like probably at different times than the base characters were, so you're not overshadowing them. Like think of like the Borderlands games and Tales of the Borderlands, where like in one you're a super overpowered vault hunter that can like kill swaths of dudes, and the other it's story driven where you're like a normal person.
Yeah, it's. Let's see. It's in the future. It's far in the future that it. All the other characters are just not mentioned, and the only reason why I know it's in the future is because a character that appeared in it appears in Ember Knight farther, farther deeper into the manhwa. So it's like, oh, that's so cool. He's here.
Nice.
But I know what happens to her in the other one, so it's like, oh man.
I'm gonna
There's a
do.
reason why she's still appeared in the far future, which is a bit sad too.
Gotcha.
But it's really cool.
I'm still listening, but I'm gonna need to put my hands on my keyboard because I'm gonna do a hunt real quick.
Yeah. I'm actually going through my phone to delete some old pictures and stuff because my phone storage is full. So it's not being able to like back up for a while.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
So I was like, I guess I should eventually just clean this out.
I was very lucky because I think I got my phone upgraded like 2 years ago, something like that. And the upgrade package from our carrier came with like a 528 gigabyte SD card in addition to like the phone's normal storage. So yeah. So
The storage is fine. It's the cloud storage that
oh
updates
yeah,
to the cloud.
we don't have cloud storage, so whatever's on the thing is just, if it's gone, it's gone. But a good thing about the thing is that it does back up to the SD card, so if the phone is destroyed, so long as the SD card survives, then you can still extract it. Oh, that hit me? That's bullshit. A fun detail about this game, all of the octopi monsters are immune to flash pods. Because... or just the flash condition in general, because octopi in real life have different types of eyes than mammals do.
Oh, I see.
Funny thing is, because of how I know that their eyes work in real life, I know that outside of the water, their eyes would actually be more vulnerable to ultraviolet light, but I understand why they did it, what they did. So, like in mammalian eyes, specifically in human eyes, I don't know if it's all in all mammal eyes, we have a layer of red blood cells that are in front of our eyes, that are in front of the rods and cones in our eyes that protect the rods and cones from ultraviolet light. The octopi's eyes are more powerful than ours. They're stronger. They're better. They can see farther and in a higher radius of degree of radius. But that's because they don't need to have that red blood cell barrier in front of their eyes. So they have a much larger, much forward-facing point where the rods and cones in their eyes are. The reason for that is because they're creatures that live underwater. So they have a natural barrier always in front of their eyes that filters out ultraviolet light. So even though their eyes are way stronger than any human's eyes are, the reason they're not vulnerable to infrared or ultraviolet light is because specifically they're underwater.
I see.
So that's why some of them are bioluminescent. That's why some of them are particularly resistant to harsh external lights and stuff like that. And it's why their eyes are considered some of the most powerful in the animal kingdom. And it's one of those things where their eyes are actually more vulnerable than human eyes if you take them outside of the water, which both monsters that are in this game are naturally outside of the water. But I understand why they made them immune to flash pods, because normally octopi, like monsters, are immune to harsh lights and have stronger vision than humans and most creatures. But if you had octopi eyes as a human, you would be blind in a week because of the irreparable damage from the sunlight from your... unless you constantly walked around with dark out shades and a concrete umbrella above you.
Unfortunately, like, some people are like that. For
Yes.
different reasons, but
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
they have to live like that.
Albino people, they lack such an insane amount of melanin that you could permanently damage your eyes. Like, you see their eyes are red, that's not just for show. Their eyes are more
They have
vulnerable.
bloodlust.
Yeah, their eyes are more vulnerable to ultraviolet light, and so is their skin.
Yeah.
Sad. Gotta take vitamin D supplements, so I can't stay out in the sun too long. Can't get the natural vitamin D. Vitamin D. Found a really good grinding spot for money in this game, and also for sometimes for ancient wyvern coins.
Oh, nice.
You don't even have to go to a mission for it. You just fish. I even made a set called the Gatherer set that just has like all of the out of combat skills on it, so that you mine and harvest things better. I guess it's right, I've done all my dailies. Thank you for sticking around and chatting with me. I've been...
Oh yeah, no, like I always enjoy hanging out with you, man.
Hey, I've been socially depraved as of late.
Yeah,
Just
Sorry
because...
for being so busy for a while.
Oh no, I gotcha. I've been also really busy with work and trying out a new depression medication. I'm probably going to, I'll
How's
probably, I actually haven't started it yet. I just stopped an old one. I'm getting the new
Okay.
one tomorrow, actually.
Flush it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, just stopped an old one and starting a new one. It's less of a depression medication, and it's more of like, it's like a get up and go mode. It's like for motivation purposes. Like, because of,
Okay.
I've got like non-attentive forms of ADHD, and that kind of meshes with anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, and major depressive disorder. So, combination of those
Right.
three, sometimes I just have days where I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed, and then I don't.
Yeah.
So it's one of those medications that it can spike your anxiety levels, but my anxiety hasn't really been that bad as of late. But in exchange, it should like give you the kick in the pants you need to be like, oh yes, I can get up and do things. I have motivation now, hopefully. Just because I've been struggling with that and the diet. There's a combination of like, I lack physical energy because I'm in a calorie deficit.
Right.
And also, I lack energy just because I'm a sad boy and I'm naturally apathetic. But so it's just not a really good combination of physical and psychological things. So hopefully being able to, this medication will help me be like, yes, I can get up and off my butt.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Yeah. I was going to invite some more people to the like Barotrauma / board game night server / magic server, and also kind of do like a side thing that's kind of like a mini version of the Cosmos server. Because I find I do, when things are prepared on a weekly basis, I psych myself out and I get anxious and then I end up canceling. But when things are not expected of me, I'm able to do more, if that makes sense. Like, because when, in every situation where I've ever run 2 campaigns at the same time, 2 weekly campaigns at the same time simultaneously, it's always ended in disaster because I burn myself out and have an anxiety crash. But yet, I had a week where I was able to run 12 games in 1 week on the Cosmos server. And the reason for that is that I legitimately like the pastime of running games and preparing stories and stuff like that. But I like doing it spontaneously. I get in certain moods where I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood right now. I will post it, and if there's enough interest, I'll go and do it. And because of that spontaneity, it doesn't give me enough time to think about it, regret it, and then have an anxiety attack. And I can enjoy it more. And also I can go like weeks worth of time where I just don't run a game and nobody's upset by it because there's not that pressure of expectation that I'm going to be running a game because there is no scheduled game. It's just there's only an expectation of a game when I post a game, and I only post a game when I feel like running a game.
Yeah.
So that works out a lot better for me. So I was hoping of being able to like get a decent amount of group of people on that server and just having like a really basic, really like loose, form-fitting, not hyper strict version of like the Dice Goblins game that I think you were part of for a while, where it's just like, I'll have one server, I'll give everybody administrative access to it. I don't care what you do with it. Anybody can DM any game that you want. Effectively what it is just anybody could create a character at level 3. Anytime you play like 2 or 3 quests, they level up. Keep track of your own gold and whatnot. We all trust each other. Like, again, small group, very form-fitting. And then just anybody, including myself, anytime we feel up for it, I'll just post a quest, and if I can get like 3 players interested in it, then I'll run the quest and things will happen. Kind of thing.
Sounds good.
Because and I was thinking about doing that with the pirate campaign, because the pirate campaign I've set up to be very open world and like not very non-linear. But still set up because, you've seen the way I do things in the Cosmos server, where I still, like, once I get familiar enough with a character, I still like making their story count and matter and stuff.
Yep.
I work a lot better in an environment where there's no expectations for me. I am not the sole proprietor and arbiter of the world. It gives people the opportunity to also step up and not be pressured and crushed of the expectation of having to run a weekly campaign. Because, there's been situations where, like, you've thought about doing a campaign, or, like, Austin's thought about doing a campaign, Andrews have thought about doing a campaign, but it's really, really hard to pull the trigger on and go through with it because nobody is sure with their busy life schedule if they can commit to that weekly commitment when limited time for especially people that aren't us is so limited. For me, it's just a lot of anxiety. Even though I like you guys and I like the game and I like playing with you guys, I have an anxiety disorder. So when there are expectations put on me of like, you're going to do this night and it's going to be of a certain quality, then it just kind of freaks me the fuck out. And even though I like you guys a lot, I'll just psych myself out until I just don't do it, and then curl up into a ball and have social anxiety and choice paralysis and executive dysfunction and stuff like that. But if there's just no pressure, like, oh, we might play Magic this week, we might not. We might play Barotrauma this week, we might not. We might play board games this week, we might not. And we might run the Pathfinder, Starfinder, Mutants and Masterminds, Monster of the Week, Cyberpunk, whatever game this week. We might not. And then because of how loose and form-fitting and easy it is for people to jump in and jump out, or do one thing to experiment just because they saw something online, they're curious about it, or jump off, Yeah. And then, of course, just put like in-game rewards incentives for people so that, they kind of want to see their characters grow or world grow or something like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You still good for Saturday, though?
Yeah.
Playing some Barotrauma with my girlfriend and her friends.
Yeah, that's a lot easier for me to commit to because I don't have to prepare anything and it's not completely on my shoulders.
Cool.
So I can do Magic and Barotrauma video games just fine, but with the way that I'm psychologically hardwired to run games, it's really difficult for me to justify having an entire week to prepare and then just deliver something very, from my standards, bog standard, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get you.
So, like, even if you guys had a fun time, me, myself, like, I see it in my brain as, oh, I didn't do it like the way I wanted to, and that's a personal failure to me, even if everybody still enjoyed themselves. But if I post a quest, it's like, I just thought about this 30 minutes ago, I spent 5 minutes preparing this, and I have the energy to do it now. If anybody within the next couple of hours would like to play this quest with a random assortment of your characters, hit me up. And then if we get the bare minimum number of players required for me to feel comfortable running it, then we can have just a good time. That takes the pressure off me, and I hope that environment would take the pressure off other people so that they feel like they can run things and also don't need to commit, and also it doesn't need to be of a particular system or anything.
Yeah, if that works out, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, so that's just my idea about wanting to do it in the future. Like of course have like rules and boundaries just so people know what they can do, but since it's such a small group and since nobody there is like intentionally going to be an asshole, and even if they do, the only thing that they can really do is like, what, are they just going to make their character richer than everybody else or something, and hey, that doesn't really have that many negative connotations or anything. So it's like, but they're only cheating the people that they're playing with, and if they're that personality type, then doesn't really matter. Unless there starts to be interpersonal fighting, in which case, then we could just say, hey, you know what, maybe this group isn't for you. But that's like worst case scenario. I feel like if you keep it a very casual environment that is very stress-free and don't rules lawyer the crap out of it, just set it up so that it can be like a video game. Just like, hey, these are the rules. They're the rules because we're trying to keep things simple and fair and trackable. In truth, everybody's responsible for themselves. And, don't be a dick. And have fun, Have fun. And try to make sure that your actions don't take the fun away from anybody else. And of course, like, it's not your responsibility if somebody else doesn't have a good time, but it's just don't be a dick.
You just do what you do, and hopefully everyone's able to have fun.
Yeah, it's like, it's not your fault if somebody else doesn't have a good time, but it's like, just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And hopefully that kind of low pressure environment, because I do really want to run for you guys. I don't know what it is. We're trying to figure it out.
I also want to be able to play new games.
Yep. So yeah, I just wanted to run that by you, see if you saw any issues with it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, just like the only issues, like the only thing that can really happen that's all that bad that I see is like two people's personalities just don't mesh well, so they don't like playing with each other. And that's just kind of how people are, and you're never going to, like in any team player games, you're never going to completely eliminate that,
Yep.
The thing is that everybody that's on that server I've met, and it's not like just like a public server or just any random asshole on the internet can join. So since it's a smaller group and a smaller community and will never become a bigger community, then it's, people will know each other's names. So it's, you're less incentivized to be an asshole. And if you have a problem with somebody, then just don't play with them, Then if it's not fun for you, just don't play. It just kind of becomes the thing. That's like worst case scenario. Man, Gemma's costume
way,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna be a bit busy at the later end of March. My sister is gonna be moving, so I'm gonna be helping her out with that.
Yay.
gonna be busy from like 16th to maybe April still,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be pretty far. But yeah, be
I
busy
mean-
for what?
I want to be busy from the start of May, probably through to the middle of May. So, but I completely get you. Like, again, like I'm not telling you this to be like, oh, will you come to all my games or streams or blah 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 and support me or stuff. Like, I know you'll support me when you can, and I know you'll play when you can. And if not, like, there's like totally no problem. Like, yeah, I know you've been grinding Minecraft, and that's important for you. You've been hanging out with your girlfriend, and that's important. And it's like, it's no problem. Like, sometimes we have days where we have like back-to-back swaths where we spend hours, watching anime and playing video games together, and sometimes we don't talk to each other for a while. Like, if you ask Leo, that's exactly how our friendship has been forever since I've known him since I was like 19, and that hasn't diminished our friendship at all. Trust me, it is a new skin off my back. And in fact, if you need somebody to come up and help you move, I don't think I'm gonna be doing anything around that time.
No, it's gonna be. It's fine, thank you.
But yeah, just don't feel like, look, if you want to, if you're just like, oh, there's this game that I'm playing that you don't play that I really want to play more of, so I'm spending a lot of my time playing it, or I'm tired, so I, just kind of don't have the energy, or my girlfriend wants me, or I need to help my sister move, or I need to do literally anything else rather than hang out with you. Trust me, I do not take offense to it. Us being able to hang out is supposed to, be enjoyable for both parties. And while I do enjoy your
appreciate
presence,
that, man.
I understand there's
Same
more
here,
people
like,
out there.
I don't want the idea of like I don't like playing with you, or like I only hung out because we were playing games. Like, I don't want that to come across as anything just because I haven't been around for a little bit.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. There's so much to do in this life, and there's so many people to help and hang out with. I just appreciate that I can get time with you every so often, and if I get more sometimes and I get less other times, and that's kind of how it is. And sometimes I just need a break to hang out by myself too, because I get mentally tired. And that's kind of been the case for me. That's kind of been the case for me a lot recently, which is why I really haven't been messaging on Discord all that much, is just because I fucking got like all this stuff with the fire and all of my younger siblings in like that teenage hormonal phase, and dad looking for a new job, and them looking at moving, and me trying to help out with the business, and also just like changing therapists, changing insurance providers, changing medication, like trying to get up the gumption to like still run a game with you guys. Like, it's all it like really takes the mental energy out of. And I know that you're pretty similar to me, so I imagine you have a lot of very similar struggles. And even if you don't, like, sometimes like you like playing League of Legends or Tactics Arena, and those are the games that I just don't really like playing. And sometimes you want to play Hearthstone, and I don't play Hearthstone, so sometimes you want to play a different game, and we don't share that. The only reason that I keep expounding upon this is because my personality. I don't want to miscommunicate what I'm actually believing to anybody, so in order to do that, I just end up talking, even though you've clearly understood my point at this point. It's just, trust me, we're not any less friends just because we might spend several weeks or even months maybe not talking to each other, playing games with each other as much as we normally do. Like, we're here when we're here, and when we're not, we're not. And I know you feel similar.
Like, I also want. Yeah, that's why it's like I even started this thing of like I don't want any miscommunication of like, oh, we're not as close anymore or anything. Like, no, I still consider you like one of my best friends, dude.
Yeah, there is definitely, and the feeling is likewise. But yeah, I am kind of one of those people that every now and again, unless I am reached out to, like I will disappear off the map for a while and then come back and be like,
same.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, I can just be silent.
Yeah, like, love Leo. It's great dude. Again, known him since I was 19, so like 8 years at this point. We've had like literal years at one point where like 2 consecutive years where we didn't talk to each other. And then one random day he texted me and we picked it back up like nothing ever changed, just because both of us were like, we moved. I moved. He had a different job. We changed addresses. We didn't talk to each other for a while. And he was just like, hey dude, I was looking through my phone numbers and I just completely forgot. It's like I meant to text you and then I completely forgot. I kept forgetting and life happened. And I'm like, I understand. That happens. And then we're still best friends to this day, you know? Yeah, like, and eventually every now and again we'll do that thing where we call the other at like 2 a.m. in the morning. That we talk for 4 hours.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's just kind of how life would be. Yeah, just wanted you to know that while sometimes I won't always answer the Discord message or pick up the phone right away, like if you ever need to talk about anything, I'm always here. And I know that the feeling's mutual.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you're in an emergency state, like, you know, it's one of those things where, like, hey, I'll just send out well, maybe if he wants to talk. And, like, if you didn't have the time or doing something else to talk, like, I completely understand that because we all have different schedules and you're a very popular guy.
Oh.
Yeah. So
just like how that outfit makes the Smithy girl very popular.
Yes, like that's what I was about to say is that where is she? Like this is her. I wish I could have her in this all the time. This is her Firefest Flame Vet or something skin.
You can't have her like this all the time.
Can't have her like this all the time. This is only
Unless
for
it's
this
like a
week.
mod or something,
Yeah,
I
this is
guess.
only for this week, or maybe they'll make it permanent. But it's like the Wyveria skin,
yeah,
right?
But it doesn't look as silly.
Yeah,
This
it's
looks
like
actually. I mean, a blacksmithy wearing this silly, but
yeah, it's just like
it looks more practical.
she's wearing swimwear, and then she has like the Rosie the Riveter like short pants, short sleeve jumpsuit over it. She's got her goggles and she's got the bandana tied back, and she's got like the little plushie on it. It's just it's so like I didn't know this style of clothing for women existed, and now it's like my favorite thing. It's gorgeous. I love this. And like Alma's is also pretty. Where is she? Alma's also is pretty good. She has like
By the tent, probably.
yeah, she's not by this tent. Let me go over here. Alma has like a sun hat, and she has her swimsuit and sandals, and she's got like the little tropical like I'm on vacation vest over it. Yep, there she is. So it looks pretty good. Yeah, there she is. She's got like the wreath, and she's got like that little net poncho and a swimsuit under it.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so really, I think Eric has one too. Where's Eric? I think his is a little bit subtler, and I don't know where he's at. Eric. I don't know, I don't look at him as much. Also, Monster Hunter Wilds made a deal with Ichiran Ramen, and now you can get Ichiran Ramen tickets and have Ichiran Ramen brand
Oh my god.
ramen and eat it
so cool.
for meals. Let's see, change appearance, Eric. What does Eric look like right now? Yeah, this is Eric's vacation dude. He's got like the straw hat and the vest and stuff like that. So he's got like a little bug purse and like the swim shorts. And I also made myself a call it the Snazzy Beach Boy. Yeah. I got
awesome.
like the tats and my
You
sandals.
look like
and,
a fire dancer.
yeah, it's like fire dancer. And, I can't spin myself around to show off the glutes, but this is like the one male. This is like one of the 2 male bottoms that like show off the glutes.
Nice. I thought it was a female bottom.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is one of the few bottoms that males can wear that show off their glutes. But yeah, it is the female bottom. I think the other one that I really notice is like the Zoshia's bottom for male. Yeah, this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, this one you got some kick. I like the quivers covering it up, but he's got some kicks on this one too. This one's pretty cool.
Oh.
That's
was
pretty
pretty
good. And this one is just like, I'm ready to fire dance, go swimming, walk on the beach, and then maybe stab a monster. But really, I just chose this waist belt thing just because it's one of the few that doesn't cover up the glutes in the back.
Mhm.
It's like you'll have a lot of them like
It's
this one that
nice.
like
Good
droops down.
cheeks.
Yeah, you got the like. Hey, I toned these cheeks. I get to show them off if I want to. Like, look at these quads. I got
Look
the
at that,
abs.
those abs, dude.
Yeah, it's got some good abs.
Is that cosmetic or is that just like your
Oh, that-
from base?
Yeah, that's I chose when you choose the character's body type, you can choose like how fat or toned or
toned
what
they
they
are,
are.
yeah.
So I just chose
Dude,
chose
nice.
the one that had like the most muscle tone to it because I like the abs. I would love to have abs in real life.
Right.
Yeah, I've lost what was it? I've lost 75 pounds since September. So now I'm
wow.
like 180. Yeah, I've almost lost 80 pounds. I'm almost 180, which I haven't been 180 since I was like 19. And then I just kind of look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't have abs. I have like the body
Same.
type where the fat all coalesces into the gut first, and then all of my arms and legs are just like my legs look like they have muscle. My arms are super skinny. There's nothing on them whatsoever. Like,
I mean, bodybuilders have that like odd pot-bellied gut thing.
yeah. Like,
That's
yeah,
somehow abbed out.
Yeah, some of them have the bubble gut. Apparently, it's a way to work out. And in certain like eras of bodybuilding competitions, bubble
that's
guts were
the-
really, really, really popular. And sometimes they were really, really, really unpopular.
Yeah, I could see it both ways.
Yeah, because like
They're both. Yeah.
in a certain area, it's just like all size, all that's matter, all that matters is just like as big as possible and as shredded and toned as possible. And then in others, it's just like, yeah, the shredded and toned as possible, but you got to be narrow at the hip and large at the shoulder. So you have people who literally their bone structures dictate that they can't be a prize-winning bodybuilder just because their shoulders aren't wide enough. Like their scapulas, and bone structure is the problem. It's not the fact that they can't build up the muscle. It's not that they don't work hard enough. It's just that they just don't got the bone structure for it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. But then again, I'm really not a fan of muscle building to that degree. I really like people who work out so that they themselves can do cool things. I don't like it when it's taken to such an extreme that it actually starts to physically debilitate you to have that much muscle. Because a lot of those guys that you see in the bodybuilding competitions, yes, they have more muscle on them than any other man in the world, except for maybe powerlifters. But they have like heart problems, they have breathing problems, they need like a sleep apnea machine. They have so little fat percentage that they have problems with thermoregulation, like their bodies don't handle extreme cold or extreme heat because that's something your body needs for fat. They have problems walking because the fat that's around their heels and the balls of their feet have diminished to such a degree that it starts to wear away at their bones and stuff like that. Yeah, it's impressive that you can be that monstrously jacked, but when it starts making it so that it physically debilitates you, it's impressive. Don't get me wrong, it's impressive that you can have that much dedication to building muscle. But I kind of like the bodybuilding that's like you see UFC fighters, I can punch harder, I can move faster. Or you can see people who do what is it called? Like parkour, where they can run super fast and vault things, or you see people like stuntmen in movies and stuff like that. And just look at it looks cool to have abs and stuff. I know abs aren't always practical because you have to be in a calorie deficit, which makes it so sometimes you don't have the energy to do high intensity activity. That's why sometimes you'll see like marathon runners.
It's low pro. It's like they have just low energy, so they could be stronger, but they just can't when they're working out because of their certain diets and such.
Yeah, like there was I thought it was very interesting. There was a lineup. It was women at the time, but they had one for men too. But it was showing a lineup of women who were like top 1% in their field for different professions and athletic based professions. So like one was an aesthetic bodybuilder, one was like a shot
yeah, I
put.
saw that,
one was like a swimmer, one was a runner, one was a power lifter, one was tennis, football, volleyball, like all stuff like that. And the thing is that you build up a physique to do a specific purpose, and you become like, the great thing about the human mind and the human body is that the more you do a specific physical and mental action, do those both things combined, the better you will be able to doing that. And just certain shapes and sizes of muscles and bodies naturally occur the more you do that thing. So it's like, yes, there's a bunch of different nationalities, size, shapes, and sizes and ages and shapes of people doing volleyball, but they all tend to have a similar structure and certain genetics.
It's just ideal this way.
Yeah, for like swimmers, it's like better to have bigger feet genetically for stuff like that, but your muscle groups will naturally grow a certain way if you practice a certain thing. And I think it's super impressive to see somebody that trains themselves to be able to do something specific really, really, really well, and then like see the physique that is the result of that. And bodybuilding competitions are one of them, but it's slightly lower on the totem pole for me because that's not physically doing something as much as it is looking a certain way. To the point where people have died from heart attacks and heart complications and like died in their late 30s. So I don't appreciate that as much. But then again, it's also for the same reason why I don't necessarily appreciate football players as much, because like professional athletes also their careers tend to end by their mid-30s because they get an injury. I like seeing the limits and extreme things that people can do to push themselves to the limit of like, wow, that's such an incredible thing that people can do. I just don't like the part where it hurts or even kills said person,
Yeah.
because I'm not a psychopath. I guess it makes sense. I don't know. It comes to a point.
We have our ideal idea, and then there's those that just have to push it to the physical limit.
Yeah, and I think there's a certain thing about Hollywood to a degree where like that it kind of becomes the expectation of like, oh, if you're healthy and work out, that's what you'll look like, and I'm like, not exactly. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger was in a lot of action movies growing up. And I tell you what, being in the military, even the most physically fit of soldiers really don't have Arnold Schwarzenegger's build, because you gotta be able to move. And that build makes it so that you can power lift really well, and he will win a bodybuilding competition. He looks really good. But you gotta be able to run 2 miles, And
that's just so much more extra weight.
That's so much more extra weight that you gotta be able to, there's a balance. Like, there was a guy named Flores in my boot camp training growing up, and dude is 5'2", and 125 pounds, and he worked out hard, man, and he had the highest PT score out of everybody. It was something approaching 407 or something like that, which, in order to get into the 400s, they have to grade you on an extended scale. A perfect PT score at the time was 300. But that's because the PT score, or physical training score, is based on push-ups, sit-ups, and your 2-mile run. And because Flores is 5'2" and 125 pounds, all of those calisthenic exercises, he had the wildest advantage on. So that's why he had like a 407. It's crazy. Nobody could beat the shorter people who also were physically fit with those kinds of builds. But the thing is that on the 16K ruck, I absolutely smoked the shit out of him, and he almost fell out. Because on the 2-mile ruck, you have to carry 60 pounds of gear on your back and your weapon, and you have to go for 16, and you have to go almost continuously for 16 kilometers. You get like 3 or 4 breaks. Each of those breaks is like 5-10 minutes long, maybe, for bathroom. Like, but the thing is that because I'm like 6'1" and 175 pounds, and he's 5'2" at 125 pounds, even though his gear collectively was for his size was more like 45 pounds, and mine was more like 65 pounds because I'm on the larger end, he's on the smaller end. That gear was a larger percentage of his body weight, and also his frame and build was built to do something different. He will always smoke me on the PT test. He will always get a higher score on the PT test unless he slacks off one day. But I will be able to carry somebody who got shot in the leg on my back across the football field, where if he had to carry me across the football field, he couldn't do it. He wouldn't be able to do it because I'm way too heavy. Way too heavy. There's too much of a weight difference. So it just sucks that like the military values certain things numerically more than others, which kind of sucks.
That's just the case for like a lot of things, though. Like they don't care how practical it is. Just if it looks good on the paper, if the numbers look good, that's what they need.
Yeah, because the differences in grading scale for like what your physical fitness is gender, which is obviously a big one, and age, which is obviously a big one. But since me and him were both, same age category, or like early 20s, late, teens, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, I think was the age group that we were in. Like we both had the same grade scale. But like when you get like 24, then they give you more leeway, so you get higher points for a lower, times and stuff like that. And if you're female type, because female have different genetics and different physical limitations and stuff like that, then they grade you differently, which also makes sense. But like I was constantly being compared to Flores, and like while I would bang out like a solid 235 on the PT score, like I would max out push-ups and sit-ups, and then my run time would suck. Because I fucking have asthma. He would like look like he's 407. You're like, oh my god, he's so much better of a soldier. And you're like, not exactly. Because there's another guy, he always barely passed the PT test, but he was my height, but super like power build. Like he was Samoan. His name was Thompson. Like dude could carry like an M250 cal by himself, barrel and all, across the football field, which an M250 cal is a gun that you mount on a Humvee. It's a mounted vehicle. You don't shoot that from the hip. Yeah, so he could carry it like on his shoulders from one end of the football field to the other.
Because can you fire it?
Probably break it. He'd probably break something if he did, but I know he would be able to shoot it once.
I guess, yeah.
If you look up the picture of an M250 cal, you would see it is not designed to be fired from the hip.
No,
like it can.
I'm saying, like, okay, impressive, really carrying it, but like, it would be really interesting if you could also fire it while carrying it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, like, it's listed in the Army manual. Like the M250 cal is listed as a 2-person carry without the barrel. You put the barrel on it. It's a 3-person carry technically because you have 1 person carry 2 50 cal barrels, and then 2 people carry the 50 cal itself without the barrel attached to it. So if you have 1 person carry, because it's like made of solid steel, it's heavy and it's awkward shaped. It's long. So you carry it on one shoulder. He'd probably carry one on each shoulder if he got somebody to help him put the other one onto his shoulder. You carry it from one, again, 100 yards of like one end of the football field to another. It's just because he was just as tall as me. He was way broader. He was just this big, muscular Samoan dude. But he would always almost fail tape because he has a portly build, because Samoan. And his cardio sucked just because he's really heavy, wide build. But like I got put up against him in combatives, which is combatives is when like you're out of bullets and you need to smack somebody to death with your rifle, but in combatives they give you a football helmet, pads, and a padded stick. Yeah, dude knocked the shit out of me. I could feel I could feel the hits through the padded stick and the football helmet. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like dude gave another guy a concussion even with the pads. He sent somebody to the hospital. Like super strong. 180, barely passed his PT test every single time. Not physically fit according to PT standards. And that's a stupid way the army works, and I hate that. You know, Flores, great kid. Super nice, super kind, super honest. Really good at push-ups, sit-ups, and running. Super small. I would not trust him to save my life. If I got shot. Like, if I got shot in my battle, the only person near me to drag me to the nearest medic was Flores, I know I'm gonna bleed out. Unless I can walk there myself, I know I'm gonna bleed out. Because not only does Flores have my fat ass, you know, my heavy ass equipment, my heavy ass bulletproof vest, my gun, my IFAK, all of, you know, and my lard ass to carry. He has all of his stuff to carry too. He's not weak. But that's a collective, like, goodness, and counting his gear, that's like 225 additional pounds of gear to carry in addition to his own body weight. He would have to drag bare minimum like a football field away while getting fired at. Like, it's not happening. The best thing he can do is shoot back at the enemy, and then, you know, hopefully I can turn
human shield.
Yeah, hopefully I can tourniquet myself and shoot the guy that shot me, but no, I'm dead. I am so dead. But yeah, no, I saw Thompson throw two different guys, you know, one was my size, 175, and the other was Flores' size, 125. One over his shoulder and the other under his other arm, and he walked like, you know, 60 feet with him and then set him down. Like, again, like, he couldn't run for shit, and you know what? He'd probably be an easy target to hit. There's a lot more of them to shoot. Not just like, dude was not useless physically. He was a strong man. Love Thompson. Great guy. Very kind. Used to call him Samoa Joe just because he was just very...
I think you mentioned it before.
Yeah, very kind dude. And then when I got to my unit, because we were trained in Missouri, so obviously we didn't go to the unit, there was a very similar guy who was just like him. I forget what his name was. Goodness, what was his name? I don't know. We're forgetting off the top of my head. I'll be going to bed tonight and being like, that's what his name was. Great guy. A lot of good people. And just by army standards, on paper, they're like pieces of shit, but you gotta actually know them. Let's see. Hungry for ore. There's a lot of event quests that are out right now that have like unique item drops that are used to build unique armor sets, and that's what I'm currently trying to need a fire weapon. Like this item, this one drops a unique item called a large skull that I don't recognize, so I want to try seeing what that makes. Because, like, been in the fashion hunting stage for a while. We're like seeing all the cool ways that you can mismatch all of different 5 armor pieces together and color change them to make them look cool or silly.
Yeah, I get that. It's fun.
It's lots of fun.
It's fun to play with cosmetics.
Yeah, it's great. Like, because a lot of times cosmetics in games is like, oh, it doesn't have a gameplay effect. You can buy it if you want to. In this game, it's like a core gameplay mechanic. And they do have some cosmetic items that you can only get by paying for them. That's just to keep themselves afloat while they patch all the holes in their horridly launched ship. Like, they've flubbed the shit out of this launch compared to the last two Monster Hunter games that came out. The reviews on this game are on the up and up, though, because they fixed the optimization issues, you know, after a year. But now that all the optimization issues are gone and the master rank stuff has come out, you know, even though they kind of relied on a bunch of crummy DLC practices in order to get them to this point, they got this point to the point where they're now a good Monster Hunter game, and they will become possibly one of the greatest Monster Hunter games of all time.
Yeah,
If you
still doing
just-
some more updates too.
Yeah, if you just don't look at their shady history. And the fact that there's this $400 worth of cosmetic DLC on the Steam store.
Just download mods.
Yeah.
Mods that look different.
Yeah, I really want to whoops. Yeah, whatever.
I'm probably gonna hop off here for now. I'm gonna get something to eat.
Yeah, I need to get some meat, to get some water too. I'm just gonna do this one last quest and go home. Thanks for talking
Sounds
to me,
good.
man.
Heck
Everything-
yeah, I enjoy it myself.
Holy shit, I have never seen Nersilia do that. He just webbed up an entire monster. Sorry, you have a good one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never seen Nersilia have
Are
that
they
kind
not-
of turf
wait,
war.
are they fighting each other?
Yes, they're having a turf war, but now that they've ended their turf war, they're gonna start kicking my ass. Alright, you have a good one, man.
Okay. You too. See ya, man. Bye.
armor is yours anytime. Come on over.
Well, I'm going to do some arty and weapon crafting. So I will be done for this evening.